everyone, welcome to our session with EOD Talks. My name is Ishika.
My name is Shaunak Bhattacharya and we will be your hosts for today.
Shaunak, I cannot help it but notice that nowadays exam season are approaching and it will be really stressful for all the students and I think that it could get overwhelming too. What do you think on that?
Absolutely, Ishika. I remember during my time, I was so stressed and there was so much of anxiety, and everybody said so many things, but to actually process that was so hard. Was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was the same for me as well. I believe others also have the similar feeling. And in this session, moving on towards this session, we will not focus towards just the stress but also towards the strategy. So let us pan out towards those who actually killed it in CAT. Towards my right are the freshers. So let us start with your introduction.
Hi, my name is Harsh Tiwari and I have done my BBA from IIM Rohtak.
My name is Sneha Arora and I've completed my BBA in Finance from Shahid Sukhdev College, Delhi University.
And my name is Parth and I completed my BCom Honours from Ramjas College, Delhi University.
Now moving on to the people with WorkX.
Hi, my name is Anubhav Kundu. I have worked in Primark Projects, which is a real estate company, and I have a work ex of 1.5 years.
Hello, my name is Ananya Jain and I have a work ex of around 1.5 years in a travel agency which also happens to be my family business.
Let us move towards our first segment, that is the last 10 days. The last 10 days tends to be really stressful for all of the students. So I would like to know with all of you, how was your last 10 days and how did you plan it? What were your strategy for that?
So for my last 10 days, it was in two phases. The first phase where I was trying to cut all the loose ends, trying to polish every concept that I had. In the last 3 days of that, I was trying to relax and maintain my composure.
I tried to accustom myself to a stressful environment, so I kept on giving many mocks. In hindsight, that may not be a very good strategy for some because my scores ranged from 40 to 120. But yeah, this was what I wanted to do.
I did a total opposite of what Sneha did. I did not attempt any mocks in the last 7 days. I tried to only focus on the strong areas that I had to really delude myself into believing that I really understand the concepts. Because I believe that half of the game is just the mindset that you go in with towards the CAT exam.
Okay. Considering that you all are also freshers, so how did that happen? Did you have your end terms or how did you manage college with your CAT prep?
To be honest, I had 2 exams the day prior of CAT and 2 exams the day later. So it couldn't get worse. and when that happens, I was just okay. It is what it is. So I was just I accepted my situation and tried to be as calm as I could in that moment.
Even in Delhi University, we had exams coming the next month, and my college has a certain attendance criteria, so I was balancing the travel, the classes with the plan.
So Parth, was it similar for you as well?
So I undertook self-prep. So I had a really difficult time to manage my own college studies as well as take out time to study for CAT. But I believe discipline and making a schedule really helped me to really manage college as well as doing CAT prep after my college hours.
Okay, nice.
How was it for the two of you? Because managing WorkX along with CAT prep will be a significant challenge. Did you take holidays as well or anything else?
Well, before the CAT exam, I took a 2-month sabbatical to prepare for CAT because before that, I did not really have that much of a chance to focus really on CAT prep given the work pressure. But I did try to balance it. But yeah, I took a 2 months break before CAT.
What about you?
So for me, when I started the prep, I took a 3-month sabbatical from work. That gave me a head start in getting my main portion of the syllabus sorted. As far as the last 10-15 days go, again, I took a break so that I could focus more on mocks. One thing which I used to do is, since I knew my slot, I used to give my mocks in that slot only. So that was something that helped me out that time. Apart from that, I did not stop socializing at all because that used to keep me sane. In fact, I attended a friend's birthday party just 2 days before the exam. So I think those things were keeping me sane and keeping me basically more focused at the time.
So having a place to kind of vent out all your frustration.
It helps a lot.
Okay.
So as we can see, I think everybody has a fairly different strategy, and what works for you is might actually cater to one of them or something really different. Now let's focus about the elephant in the room, the mocks and the mock scores and the fluctuation in that. So Anubhav, why don't you talk about it?
Well, I remember I started giving mocks in August, and back then I was working. So I gave the mocks at night after coming back from my office, and the scores used to range from somewhere around 40 to 60, not more than that at all. But after I took my sabbatical
Right.
from October, I had a chance to actually go through and revise on all the topics that were taught and what I should follow on. And I gave mocks every alternate day. And the reason for this was, first of all, the habit to sit for 2 hours at a stretch, firstly, and secondly, every question that I could not answer, whether it be in DILR section or the ARC or in quants, I used to note them down so that afterwards I brush up on that concept and make sure I can solve it in the next mock. Because most of the times the question types are similar. So this was my strategy, and if I talk about the last 10 days, I barely gave any mocks, maybe 2-3 mocks, because I didn't want to stress myself out, because I know for a fact, even though Sneha said that the pressure builds on, for most of the people having a low mock score at that point of time will basically kill their motivation at all. So that was my strategy.
Do you also feel that WorkX kind of tires you out just before a mock? Coming back from work?
Definitely,
then
my
giving-
brain is almost 80% dead.
Mhm.
I have to work with that 20%, and not only that, after mocks I have to sit with the analysis also. So it takes around 3.5 hours to complete the whole process. So definitely it's tough after WorkX, and when I'm working, it's already my brain is half dead.
Mhm.
So it is quite tough. But again, we have to balance it.
What about you, Ananya? Have you had a similar experience to this?
So I used to give mocks in the morning, so my brain was fresh at that point of time. But yes, when I started giving mocks, it was first once a week, then twice a week, finally transitioned into thrice a week and started giving previous year exams. Initially, I had an extremely bad experience with DILR. I was terrible at it. There were mocks where I couldn't even solve one set altogether. So the scores used to range from 40, the best I've got is I think a 120 in a mock.
Wow.
So it was very erratic, but the only thing is that it's not the score that you get, it's how you analyze and what you get out of it. It's better to make a mistake in the mock rather than you make it in the actual exam. So I think more importantly, it's not giving the mock, it's more of analyzing the mock. And for me, I had an Excel sheet where I used to write for VA-RC, how many questions I attempted, how many I got correct, were they VA, were they RC, what was my accuracy rate. In quant specifically, I used to focus on how much time I took in a question, and finally was I able to solve it, was I not able to solve it, what was the difficulty level of that question. So it's easier to analyze it and then remember those things in the next mock that you give.
Did you leave previous year questions for the end, or did you do them off earlier?
No,
Previous year papers.
I left the previous year papers for the last 2 months completely. I did not practice those questions beforehand. The reason being, if I practice those questions beforehand and I give the previous year papers later, it's not really a
Yeah,
real
it's not
score,
really.
right? Because I've already practiced the questions. So I left those previous year exams to the last 2 months, and I used to give the other mocks, I think again, August onwards.
Okay, so I think that WorkX people have given their opinions. Sneha, asking the same question to you. How did you manage and how did you plan your mocks?
So I began my CAT prep in August, and mocks I started in September. And just like Ananya, I had a tracker, not as detailed, but yes. So I constantly they were quite irregular in the start, but ultimately I increased their frequency, and I very much agree with the fact of leaving the PYQs for the end, because it plays into your mentality there as well, because they were questions I had somewhere solved during my prep, and solving them towards the end will build on to my confidence, we wanted to adopt that strategy.
Okay. Moving on towards our next segment, that is the mental game. Considering that these days mocks and CAT prep takes a toll on your mental health, it's really important to manage how you think and how you train your mind so that you're able to appear in such competitive exams in a better way. Considering that, let's move on towards Harsh, where you could answer a few questions around how did you manage your mental stress. You also in your intro mentioned that you had 2 exams prior and after your CAT. So how did you manage the mental stress of all?
I think all the prep that you do the prior months, that's supposed to make you confident that you know the stuff. So after you have done all that, there's no point in stressing in the last 1 or 2 days. So once you do, accept the situation where you are, just try to think of it as an exam. Don't think of the colleges or anything after that. It's an exam. You have prepared for it. Just do your best and relax. Simple as that.
Okay, got it. Now let's move to Parth. You had a bit chill week before the CAT, so I think that kind of helped you a lot. Did you just share about it?
Sure. I had a senior who also appeared for CAT. He appeared three times. So he was like a mentor, and he mentioned the similar thing like Harsh. The main idea is to be really calm about things and not stress about it. To be familiar about the user interface, because I have had people who gave mocks on a different platform and the user interface on CAT was really different. So to adjust yourself towards that way, that is the main idea. And towards the end, I focused on that mainly, to really take the mocks in my slot timings, to really focus on the main idea of CAT exam itself and not think about the criteria that colleges have, the colleges that I'm trying to aim. Because CAT is the first barrier towards that. If you cannot clear CAT, then the other conversations are bears no fruit. So that is the main thing that I focus on. I in fact try to read new stuff. Like I liked philosophy at that time because it really takes away the focus on yourself and brings it like towards a greater level. Like you start thinking about the entire world and you stop focusing on yourself so much. So it really takes your mind off the CAT prep. So that really helped.
Okay.
But further, you had mentioned to me that you were in slot 1. So I think slot 1 has a different, you get to know about the paper pattern right at the onset, right? So what were there a few issues that you faced? Were there any particular challenges that you had to face?
For slot 1, I feel for any slot in fact, I feel the main idea is to really streamline your DAT towards the final day. Because like the CAT guidelines that we get, the main idea is to not, like what I did was, and in fact recommended a few juniors who approached me, was to not take any prohibited items because that really takes the time out of your reaching the final center and passing the security. Then you focus on irrelevant things instead of the exam. So that was the main idea because for slot 1, I focused solely on the exam. I only bought my admit card and a single pen. I went in, I sat, I accustomed with the surroundings. I tried to focus only on my computer. Because in fact the centers that we have, the teachers that are present there, there's a lot of surrounding noise that you can give up to. So the main idea is to really focus on the screen itself, to really look at the timer, the countdown towards the final exam. And that really helped. In fact, for the other slots that one recommendation that I have, to not engage with the conversations of students who appeared in previous slots. Because that really puts your mind towards a different side. Like if the previous slot says the exam was easy, then you start taking pressure, I have to attempt more questions. If they say it is tough, then you start thinking, oh no, how will I attempt it? So you should stay away from those conversations and really focus on your own exam.
There were also a few questions I think were changed in the VARC section, the weightage changed. So were you able to adapt based on the situation?
I feel the weightage part of it, and in fact, the test, like the people say the test taking strategy of 9, 9, 9, 10, 10, 10, that doesn't really matter towards the end. Because in this exam for the past year, we had a pretty easy exam compared to before. So if a person went with 999 strategy, they wouldn't have been able to score as good as someone who did previously.
Yeah.
So the main idea is to be really flexible with your approach. In the final exam, if I go with the mind of attempting only 10 questions in a particular set, then the 40 minutes will be adjusted so that I can only attempt those 10. But if I go with the idea of maximizing my potential, then maybe I can attempt 12, 13. So that is one thing that I felt I did not focus on the weightage aspect of it. I mainly focused on that I have to attempt these questions in 40 minutes, as many as I can. So I went with no test taking strategy, and that is what I recommend to everyone. To not fix your mind on particular thing.
Further, I think Anubhav, you're a repeater, right? In
Yeah.
that. And is there some kind of undue pressure that comes in? Is there any further aspect that kind of plays on your mind that I've already given this once? Is there any advantage as well?
Talking about pressure, definitely. Actually, CAT 2024 was my third attempt, and definitely a pressure creeps in because I have been giving it twice previously. The same things I'm studying again and again, and sometimes complacency may creep in. But you should be sure that you give your best. Don't get too arrogant on your preparation that thing that I know everything. You can never know everything, and don't be complacent. Give your best, and ultimately it all matters on how confident you are. And at the D-Day, if you have any kind of situations which makes you even a little bit of tense, it will just ruin everything. I remember for my last attempt, I reached the venue 1 hour early. I went there, I slept. I slept before the computer because no one was there.
You were slot 3, right?
I was in slot 3. I just slept. And I woke up when they were announcing that we are going to start the exam so and so time after 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I woke up then, and then I sat for the exam. So the thing is, definitely for a repeater, pressure creeps in, but you should just give your best.
And you connect with your friends in slot 1 and 2
No,
try and see the format?
not at all. I agree with Parth. Never connect with your friends. Ultimately, I believe one thing that the level of the questions in paper slot 1, 2 and 3, it will be more or less same. Maybe some sections may differ, but overall the paper will be similar of difficulty. And even after that, if one slot is difficult, one is not, there will be a basically equalizing thing at the end where they give you the, I would say kind of, they do some on the basis of something they do equalization so that the difficulty is normalization. So I think it doesn't matter if a question, don't talk about slot 1, slot 2, nothing, just how you have prepared, go with it and just kill it and just give your best. Ultimately nothing is in your control. You don't know what colleges you will get, but you know how you will give your CAT.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that was a really insightful session. I believe that it doesn't matter whether you're giving CAT for the first time or the third time. The stress is universal for all. It just matters how you manage it.
I think as we wrap up, the first thing that I would like to ask is maybe Anubhav to give a parting thought, and then everyone can give their.
So guys, I want to say sky is the limit. I went from 97 percentile to 75 percentile and then to 99 percentile. So I would just say don't get too complacent, give your best, and ultimately what you can only control is your CAT prep and the mental stability that you have, or basically the confidence that you have on the D-Day. Other than that, just stay chill and give your best.
Ananya?
I think I would like to say it's more of a mental game rather than what you do academically. Everything is dependent on what your thought process throughout the process is actually. And whatever you do along with your prep, just remember that masti nahi rukni chahiye.
What about you, Parth?
So I believe that what might work for some of us may not work for the rest of people. So the things that you have heard here also, I believe you should do what your heart says. And similar to Ananya, make sure you have good after CAT plans that you look forward to after giving your attempt.
Yes, your approach is the best approach, and keep analyzing and also keep having small breaks.
Yeah, it cannot be stated enough. Temperament is everything. So relax, believe in yourself, you're the best.
Thank you guys. Thank you all for joining in. I believe that everyone gets to learn something from your insights.
Keep tuning in into this space, and
All the best.